In the anchorage of San Andres, we often had winds between 20 and 25 knots, and it became a bit choppy, and Karl was dancing on his anchor chain, and it was raining and raining and blowing and blowing. And well, because we wanted to do a couple of day trips, and because the anchor had dragged the first night after my arrival, because the holding is not very good, I had decided I wanted to put out a second anchor. So before we took the anchor up for leaving to go to sail further north, I had to dive down and untangle the second anchor that I had put down to secure the first anchor. Well, I was quite lucky that it wasn't super deep, because diving down and like opening shackles or tying knots and all that kind of stuff is always not the easiest maneuver for me. We're supposed to be on our way to the Bay Islands of Honduras, but instead I'm here in the beautiful bay of Providencia. Well, I'm not complaining because it's actually pretty beautiful and I'm happy that we stopped, but the circumstances are maybe not the best. Well, we've waited quite a while for a nice weather window to go, and we left with high spirits, and the weather was actually good. It was between 10 and 15 knots of wind. There's hardly any swell. There was around a meter, maybe maximum 2 meters, so that was beautiful, and we had a really nice sail through the night. But Karl was doing a really bad angle to the wind, one thing, and we went through 2 squalls in the morning, in the first morning after the first overnight, and that was actually not such a big deal. It was not that bad. It was max 30 knots of wind, but the problem was that Matthieu was really seasick, and we had still quite a journey ahead of us, and the wind was going to turn actually against us, like being even less favorable for us, and it was going to push us further and further into the banks in front of Nicaragua. And also the wind was supposed to pick up to 20 knots, and I was getting worried that, you know, being by myself, and not even just being by myself, but having to deal with a boat by myself, having to deal with a sick person on the boat, and going through the banks with an unfavorable wind, and, you know, maybe a bit higher than I would like it to be for that passage. I thought it was maybe not the cleverest idea to carry on, so I looked at it, and if we were like 30 miles away from Providencia, and so I decided to turn around and motor sail in that direction for a while to see how it goes, and, you know, maybe try to go into Providencia. And whilst we were on our way there, we were beating a bit into the waves, but they weren't really bad. As I said, they were about a meter, but they're really short sequence, so maybe that was the reason. And then all of a sudden I hear like a boom, and look around and I see my lower shroud flying towards my face, and oh yeah, it broke, and that wasn't very good. And we had to, well, we just put like a stay, we put a halyard in instead, just, you know, as a provisory, but that wasn't really going to do much. Anyways, we slowed down a little bit, but once we got a bit closer to the island, because we wanted to make it before dark, we had to speed up a little bit again, but the sea state had come down quite a bit. And so we headed for Providencia, and just before arrival, it was beautiful. There's lots of dolphins coming to greet us. It's like the greeting committee. That's always beautiful when you have dolphins. Always cheers up your mind and always makes even the worst seasick people get out of their berth and come in the bow and look at the dolphins. Anyway, so here we are in Providencia. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful island. Much more beautiful than some of this, I have to admit. And we have to organize a solution, like a new terminal, or I mean, I have an extra shop, but I don't have any terminals. Shame on me. So we need to see how we can ship that here, and then wait for another weather window. And hope that all of that won't take too long. Anyways, let's see. How about that next week?